Welcome to the Hawks Nest. Great to have you with us here on the Hawks Sports Network. Men's OCAA basketball action moments away from tip-off. Again, great to have you with us. My name is Matt Hamill alongside my broadcast partner Andrew Milani. Andrew, we have two teams who are on their respective losing skids. Humber has lost their last two games. Fanshawe is losers of their last four. Now, for the Humber Hawks, it was a really strong end to the year of 2022. So far in the new year, hasn't quite been the same dynamic as the Hawks now standing at 6-5, losers of their last two. And Andrew, we're looking at a Fanshawe Falcons team who is 3-8 on the season. So for the Humber Hawks, a chance here to hopefully get back to their winning ways. And for Fanshawe, another good ball club looking to pick up the win here today as well.
Yeah, for Humber, it's been a tough time for them trying to get atop of the OCAA West. But as you mentioned, 4 strong games to finish off 2022, but not as strong to open up 2023. 2 losses in a row. The chance here to turn things around against the Fanshawe squad, who has been having their own troubles. Just 3-8 on the season, just kind of hanging on to that number 8 seed in that OCAA West, trying to find that last final playoff spot. Of course, both these teams just trying to get in rhythm, just trying to get something going between or before we get to the playoffs.
Now let's take a quick look at that head-to-head. Now Humber's offense has been a bit more proficient this year compared to the Fanshawe Falcons. Battle of the Birds here today. Field goal percentage, you can see pretty similar. 3-point percentage, not much of a difference there. Slight edge to Fanshawe, so fairly evenly split, but you see that win-loss percentage, Humber doing much better in that regard. So statistically seems like a bit of a closer matchup, but it does seem like Humber would be the favorite. Now Humber, of course, the defending national champions, but have not quite followed that up this season with the strongest season. Humber not even in the top 10 national rankings. When we look at the provincial rankings, Humber sitting in the 8th spot. So we'll see if they can get back on track here. Like we mentioned, losing a pretty tough game to the Mohawk Mountaineers. Mohawk, the number 1 team, the number 2 team in the province, and the number 5th team in the national rankings. Yeah, number 1 in the West. And we'll turn it aside now for the player introductions here at the Hawks Nest. Moments away from tip-off, right after Dwayne Bowles hits us with the intros.
Hi there, and welcome to the Nest here at the Humber Athletic Center for this matchup between the Fanshawe Falcons and your Humber Hawks. It's now time to meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Fanshawe Falcons, a 6-foot guard at Oakville, Ontario, number 2, Dante Richards. A 6'2" guard at Springfield, Ontario, number 7, Blake Roy. A 6'4" guard at Toronto, Ontario, number 10, Josh Loblaw. A 6'5" forward at Cambridge, Ontario, number 12, Aiden Whalen. And a 6'2" guard at St. Thomas, Ontario, number 14, Jack Tunstill. The head coach for the Fanshawe Falcons is Tony Marcotulio. And now, the starting lineup for your Humber Hawks, as put together by head coach Omar Miles. A 6-foot guard out of Windsor, Ontario, number 3, Kyle Brown Fazikis. A 5'11" guard out of Toronto, Ontario, number 4, Romeo Osas Joshua. A 6'4" small forward out of Toronto, Ontario, number 7, J.R. Harewood. A 5'11" guard out of Rexdale, Ontario, number 23, Dwayne Lambert Cador. And a 6'6" forward out of Toronto, Ontario, number 24, Rashawn Chambers.
You heard it from Dwayne Bowles, starting for the Hawks. Brown Fazekas, Romeo Osas Joshua, Harewood, Dwayne Lambert-Cador, and Rashawn Chambers ready to get things going. Chambers will be taking the opening tip-off against the Falcons' Josh Loblaw.
And Rashawn Chambers, such a sight for sore eyes here, such a big part of the championship run last year, and it's going to be great to have his length, his size here for this squad, using him in that center spot here to start this game.
And we talked about for Humber, really a strong couple of games to finish off last year. Now, as we head in, there's, of course, that long December break these athletes have off. Now, it's been a lot of different players coming back into the mix for Humber. Now, has that kind of upset the balance, and maybe there's just a few games needed to kind of find a rhythm with these fresh faces? And that might be the case. We'll see if Humber can start to gel like they were in those last few games of 2022 here today. As Fanshawe, first possession of the game, a bucket for Josh Loblaw.
Unforced error there by Dwayne Lambert-Cador.
Josh Loblaw averaging 14 points a game. He has started in 3 games this season, so strong couple of games for Loblaw. Meanwhile, Verdi has started 8 games for the Falcons, 9 now. He's averaging 15 points, and that's right up there for number 1 in scoring for the Falcons. Dwayne Lambert-Cador kicks it out. Now it's Harewood. Outside shot, no good. Out of bounds, it'll be Falcons ball. First offensive possession comes up empty for the Hawks. Humber head coached by Omar Miles in his second year with the program, and as the head coach. And for the Fanshawe Falcons, it's Tony Marcatullo in his 11th year with Fanshawe. And that rings in. As great shot there from Kyle Brown Fazekas. Here comes Fanshawe back the other way. Humber with a 1-point lead, and there it goes with a 3-point of their own for Fanshawe.
Not an easy 3 to make. He had the defender up in his face.
Dante Richards with the 3.
The foul is on number 4, Romeo Osas Joshua. Personal foul number 1, team foul number 1.
So leading scoring for Fanshawe, Dante Richards. He's got 15 points averaged per game, and Manveer Virdi, it appears, is not playing today, also averaging 15 a game, so he might be missed for Fanshawe as they get another bucket down the court. 7-3 is the score for Fanshawe. And a kick ball will draw the whistle. Humber will retain possession here. So a good start for Fanshawe on their first few possessions, Andrew.
Yeah, Humber starting this one on the back foot on the other side of that argument. A lot of baskets here, a lot of offense here.
So that looked a bit like a volleyball play. The ball just kind of getting tipped around. Quick 3-ball from Fanshawe. Falcons will retain possession here with the fresh shot clock. That ball from way downtown, rebounded once again by the Falcons. And right on that baseline. 3-ball, no good. That one from Dante Richards off the mark. Humber finally gets possession.
Let's see if we can get something going offensively here.
Dwayne Lambert-Cador, a.k.a. DLC, a.k.a. Lambo, hands it off to his teammate. That 3-ball no good. Back to DLC. And there's a good looking 3 from Romeo Osas Joshua. And a scramble there. That's a lot of players involved in that dog pile.
foul going to be on?
Ultimately, it will be Fanshawe ball. Let's get it on. Inbounding the ball for Fanshawe, Josh Loblaw. First-year player by way of Toronto. Let's take a look here at that 3-ball for Humber. Romeo nailed it. So the Hawks now just trailed by 1. Fanshawe with a chance to create a bit more separation. Looks like DLC picked up the foul there, Andrew. Or maybe it was Romeo Osas Joshua.
I believe it's on, they're saying it's on Osas Joshua on the scoreboard.
Hawks have been really scrambling for rebounds in their own end here. Fanshawe with the offensive boards making the difference in the first few minutes of this game. Humber does retain possession, however. So this Fanshawe Falcons men's team, they're 4th in the province for defensive rebounds per game. So rebounding, a bit of a strength there for this Falcons team as DLC gets a bucket for Humber. Hawks now with a 1-point lead. And a pass there. Wide open 3, and that was Aiden Whalen. Nails it.
And if you're Humber, you just can't let him get that wide open for 3. There was no Hawk anywhere near him in that vicinity. Got to be tighter on defense.
So you mentioned the Hawks kind of on their heels to start this game. They've been giving up lots of rebounds in their own end and some wide open looks. There's a wide open look for Harewood. Good rebound there, sailing in. Jack Tunstill. Loblaw with some good work with the ball and fancy footwork. Man, wouldn't want to guard him in a game of pickup. That was
definitely not.
Deceptive movement there and finding his way off the glass. Loblaw with 4 points early on here.
And some great handles.
There's Dwayne Lambert-Cador, hands it off to Chambers. Now it's Romeo back with another shot. This time Romeo not able to convert. Whalen comes up empty on that try. Humber in transition. Romeo Osas Joshua with a nice bucket.
And that's what I'd like to see a little bit more from the Humber Hawks. Attacking that basket. We've seen a lot of outside shots. I think they've relied a little bit too much on that in the early stages here. Let's get back to basics here and attack the hoop.
5 points for Romeo early on here. And Kyle Brown-Fazekas, yeah, great block there. Tunstall, first-year player for Fanshawe with a good defensive play. So we're about halfway through this first quarter. Back and forth play. Fanshawe leads by 2. Harewood calling for it. Wide open up top. Pretty fast movement here for Humber with the ball. And a nice feed there. Rashawn Chambers finishes it off, all tied up now.
Great playmaking, great ball movement. Find that open player underneath the hoop for the easy basket.
Tunstall, bit of an off-balance shot. And Humber will be awarded possession here as we get a good camera shot on the baseline. Number 23 for Humber, Dwayne Lambert-Cador, looks like he's going to be the one carrying it up here, setting things up offensively. Quarterbacking the play, as it were.
You got football in your mind.
A couple of NFL playoff games certainly will be, I think, what you and I are tuned into later tonight, Andrew.
Oh, and tomorrow I'll be glued to that couch.
Turned over there by Romeo. Tunstall with the move and a beautiful finish. Number 14 for Fanshawe with the bucket.
Set one here in the early going.
Reestablishing the 2-point lead for Fanshawe and turned over in the corner, mishandled with the hot pass intended for Romeo. And Romeo will head to the bench, checking into the game for the first time this afternoon, Cameron David.
Chance here for Fanshawe to extend the lead.
Dante Richards passes it off. Second chance here for Fanshawe. Back in the hands of Richards by way of Holy Trinity High School in Oakville, Ontario. Happens to be the alma mater of one broadcaster.
Oh, get out of town.
Yeah, my old high school, Holy Trinity, great basketball program. Always does well in the OFSA provincial action. Great football team as well.
There you go.
So I'm a bit more closer ties to. And it's Fanshawe ball. Fanshawe still up by 2. Whalen off to Tunstall. Back to Whalen. Pardon me, Loblaw, who hands it over, and just to beat the buzzer, Blake Roy will add to the lead for the Birds.
Yeah, and he got that shot off just in time.
Contested inside. Loblaw with a great pass there. Not a lot of margin for error, but no good. As Mickey Griffiths not able to convert in tight. Humber on offense now. Kyle Brown Physicus charges inside. His pass was right at the feet of Chambers.
That Fanshawe defense all collapsing down low to prevent that pass.
Loblaw over to Griffiths. And Richards is fouled. And will shoot 2.
Humber having trouble establishing a rhythm here in this early portion of this ball game. We've seen a lot of miscues. Players not too sure who's going to do what, so it's going to be something to watch for as this ball game continues.
So 2 foul shots coming up for Oakville's Dante Richards. Now, Holy Trinity High School, one thing they really emphasize is free throws. Just something you might not know. So I think Richards is going to make both of these here, Andrew.
I think they may have just gained my dad as a fan, who always wonders why players don't make more.
That's what my dad does too. He gets so mad when players miss free throws. I'm like, well, it happens, Dad. You gotta
can't make them all.
Shouldn't miss a single free throw. All right, Dad. Nice 3-ball there from Brett Pierce, who just checked into the game for Humber, already making an impact. He's got some great yellow shoes on too.
Love those kicks.
Yeah, electric. Pierce with the rebound. And a corner 3 from DLC is no good. Rebounded by Humber. Second chance now. Raheem Dennis. Rebounded by Dwayne Lambert-Cador, and Fanshawe will foul. Picking up the foul is Edge Capuno. One of a couple of Winnipeg players on this Fanshawe team. And there is whistle drawn. So we'll have 2 shots coming up here for Raheem Dennis.
A couple big ones to try and claw their way back into this one. Closer to that 18-point mark that Fanshawe finds himself at. We'll get another look at that last 3-pointer there.
Pierce. Jamani Barrett misses the first free throw. Me and Andrew's dad are somewhere shaking their head.
Barrett, the tallest player on either side here, standing at 6'8".
Tunstall hands it off, but looks like we're going to have a travel violation by Edge Capuno. A lot of great names on this Fanshawe team. Edge Capuno, just one of the many.
No kidding.
Great names as Humber on offense now.
Whistle
Brett
blown.
Pierce, yeah, looks like he was fouled. So defense a little bit too strong that time.
It's going to be on Dante Richards, the Holy Trinity alum.
That's one thing we don't teach at Holy Trinity High School is picking up fouls in the first quarter. Pierce in the corner, quick shot. No good. Rebounded by Tunstall. And David doing a good job getting in the passing lane, but it will remain Fanshaw's ball here. And Fanshawe still with a slight lead, up by 2 here.
That could change in a heartbeat, though.
Yeah, Humber only down by 2. You mentioned it really has been a fairly flat first quarter from the home court Hawks thus far. But still hanging in there. Of course, like we mentioned, for Humber, it's been a bit of a slide here, losing
their last 2.
Yeah, and that's the first multi-game losing skid of the season. Early on, it was kind of win a game, lose a game type of situation, which was barely keeping them at 500 at times. Certainly not the way you'd want to keep things going, but a 2-game slide, certainly hoping to reverse the fortunes. No foul call there for Humber. They're incensed on the bench. Quick transition for Fanshawe.
Yeah, that Fanshawe team just kind of caught Raheem Dennis there in the corner.
Really kind of pushed him in the back, it seemed. Now here comes Jamani Barrett leading the charge. Dennis to the hoop. And
Big
he
block.
is fouled and will shoot 2. A lot of Falcons in the mix there.
Chance to tie things up here for Raheem. Another look at that foul.
Yeah, it might have been a good block, but a couple other Falcons were in the mix and just a little too much contact for the referees' liking. See if Dennis can make our dads proud and hit both of his free throws.
Uh-oh.
What's your dad's name, Andrew?
Lloyd.
Lloyd?
Yeah.
Milani. And Willie Hamill are
shaking their
really
heads
shaking their heads.
Last minute of play in the first quarter.
Ton still being guarded by Dennis. Some ball movement here. Good job by Hawks, kind of trapping Fanshawe on the outside and turned over. Dennis was right in the mix. Here's DLC.
Oh,
a little
too
too strong. Yeah, you said it, partner. And in transition now, and a big contact under the net. Humber, great work defensively as Dennis takes the charge. This score, 16-18, has not budged. Not seeing the score move a lot here in the past few minutes.
A great play there by Dennis, just knowing when to plant those feet. Such a skill.
And checking out of the game for Fanshawe, Hercules St. Ernie. But it was a Herculean defensive effort by Humber that has them now in possession. 20 seconds left in the quarter, 10 on the shot clock. DLC hands it off to Dennis.
Traveling.
Fanshawe players walk in front of our bench with a blue Powerade. That would really hit the spot right now.
Powerade or great Gatorade?
It depends. They're both good. It's kind of just, sometimes you get a little sick of having too much Gatorade, so you want to throw some Powerade in the mix. I'm not loyal to either brand. One's Pepsi, one's owned by Coke, right?
Yeah, Powerade's Coke. And Gatorade's Pepsi.
That'll do it for the first quarter. Things really kind of grinding to a halt there. Not much scoring in the last few minutes of quarter number 1. We finished there with a score 18-16 in favor of the visiting team.
Yeah, Fanshawe managing to find ways to stay ahead of Humber really all throughout that first quarter. They got first on the scoreboard and really haven't looked back, but Humber managing to keep things tight. Now it's just a matter of them trying to find ways to break that, you know, and get ahead in the game for once here.
Let's take another look at that 3-ball from Fanshawe late in the quarter. But it's really been a slow start, not just in the game so far for Humber, but in the new year. Was a win picked up there at, both games so far in the new year have been losses. Of course, Humber was on home court against Conestoga on the 11th of January. Just had a chance. They were up by double digits at one point in that game at home against the Condors, but just really fell off late in the game. Then you go to Mohawk earlier this week on Wednesday. Mohawk, one of the top teams in the country. In fact, they're ranked number 5 in the nation. And that was really a game Humber wasn't really in at any point, it seemed like. Mohawk really establishing their dominance, and Hawks losing that one 96-72. So a chance here against the Fanshawe Falcons, who have a losing record. Humber hoping to get back in the win column here and avoid a dreadful 3-game losing skid for the Hawks.
Yeah, especially on home court. You don't want a repeat of what happened against Conestoga, where, you know, you were in control of that game. You had it basically in your grasp, but you just let it go late. Can't have a repeat of that. Got to take care of things in the Hawks' nest here. Got to make things difficult for the opponents, as we've so often seen before. And just about ready to go here in a few seconds. We're going to start quarter number 2.
So Humber will have the rock to get the party started here in quarter number 2. Of course, the Humber women's team with a decisive victory earlier this afternoon over the Fanshawe women's team. It's about a 20-point margin of victory, but a much different story here in the men's game as the Hawks trailing after 1. Good tempo for the Hawks here, and the dunk is denied, but I'll tell you what, still able to get the finish. Great job by Jamani Barrett.
Yeah, he's had no dunk there, but still a ton of power. So hard to keep off that glass there, and still rolled in.
And a great assist from Brett Pierce for the Hawks, who fed it in there to Barrett on that last offensive possession. Now Humber back on offense. Off the glass, good work there by Cameron David. Pierce jumped up, tried to get in the way, but Fanshawe still hangs on to it here. All tied up at 20. Humber takes it away. DLC leads the charge. Finds David. Back to DLC. Dennis in the corner. Off the rim and out.
Yeah, a bit of a tough look.
Wow, what a charge. That was the foot speed of Jack Tunstall. Getting it done. Lead back in favor of the Falcons.
Great pass there, just can't get the finish. Dennis coming up with it, though.
Boy, just an awkward play there, but good defense from Tunstall as he outweighted DLC.
Yeah, it looked like DLC was trying to draw the foul there, just couldn't quite pull it off.
I'll tell you what, this number 14 for Fanshawe, Jack Tunstall, quite an athlete. First-year player in OCAA basketball, and he's had quite an impact here tonight. 4 points so far, but a couple big defensive plays as well for Tunstall. And DLC with a couple free throws. Lambert Cador makes number 1. Let's see if the man they call Lambo can get both in here. He does.
Tie game.
One of the leaders for this Humber Hawks team, Dwayne Lambert Cador, in his 5th year with the squad. Big contributing member of that national championship team from last season. The Hawks winning the national championship on their home court.
Yeah, down that stretch, he was really one of their top players. Kind of came out of nowhere to just come in there, get a lot of points. Was there as their primary distributor, and was ended up being named to the tournament all-star team, which I don't think many people would have predicted beforehand, but was really a Herculean effort by him.
Cameron David had a good defensive play there to give Hawks possession. Let's see if Humber can capitalize, and they cannot. Everybody's yelling here. Fanshawe, bench, Humber players. Nobody's happy right now.
Which usually means that both teams are doing something pretty right.
Well, we're tied up here at 22, so I guess, yeah, even Steven and Fanshawe ball. Richards carries it up. It looked a little travel-like, but despite Humber's protest from the bench, no call. And a wide open 3.
again, like how does Humber let these guys get that wide open?
And that finds a way in. Bit of a circus shot from Cameron David, hitting every part of the net. Loblaw, athletic play, and no good. Rebounded by Romeo. Kyle Brown-Fazekas with the rock now. Back to Romeo. Gotta like the movement here from Humber. Let's see if they can get some points out of this. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Got to find a play.
And David jacks it up off the rim and rebounded by Humber. And Romeo gets that ball tipped.
Yeah, that was partially blocked.
Just a tough go for the Hawks. Offense certainly not flowing for Humbers. A blow by there. Harewood picks up the foul. 2 shots coming up for the Holy Trinity High School product, Dante Richards.
Yeah, you do all that on offense, make one mistake on defense, and now all of a sudden Fanshawe's going to have a chance to tie up this game.
So the head coach for the Fanshawe Falcons is Tony Marcatulio. His lead assistant is David Hawking, and the other assistant coach, Jeff Smith. For the Humber Hawks, a pretty deep coaching staff. Head coach Omar Miles, along with Carlo Zaffraneri, Warwick Manners, Dave Bethune, and Mark Zaragoza. And here's, well, you just saw a replay of some of that Fanshawe scoring. Humber does have the lead here, but Andrew, it's been back and forth without a doubt.
Yeah, no team's really been able to take control of this ball game, and you have to wonder when that first big run's going to come. It's just been a lot of back and forth basketball. Maybe a team's getting on, small runs, but that's it. Just about the end of this timeout. Look there at the Humber huddle. 6:48 left to go in this half.
As the LL Cool J is the song of choice here. Timeout broken and Fanshawe shooting 2. Richard's second free throws. Cash.
Tied at 24. Oh, excuse me, misses first, so we're at 24-23.
It's been that kind of game, neck and neck. Chambers finds a wide open DLC. Misses.
Now Falcons are going to have the chance to take the lead here.
We talked a bit about some of Fanshawe's leading scorers. For Humber, Dwayne Lambert-Cador averages about 16 points per game. That leads the way for the Hawks, and Romeo Osas Joshua right behind him, averaging about 14. And
Ball batted. Humber coming up with it.
Yeah, a bit of a struggle, though, for Humber getting some of these rebounds in their own end. Open look there, 3-ball, no good for Romeo.
I like that attempt, though. I like that shot. Just enough time and space for him there, just couldn't finish. I see 3 of the national championship trophies here as they're getting ready for our halftime show.
That's right. At halftime, Humber will be honoring some of the national championship victories from the fall season. The golf teams were quite successful for Humber, men and women's golf capturing the national championship. And for men's soccer, we talked about that dynasty in the men's soccer program. They were fantastic this year. Getting the big win. Was it Seneca that they overcame? Yep. And not just the provincial championship, but the national championship. So a good season, and we'll have Dwayne Bowles doing the ceremony at halftime as there is a foul, and the Hawks will be shooting 2. Chance to grow their lead.
The foul is on number 8, Costas Palamanis, a personal foul number 1, team foul number 2.
So Romeo Osas Joshua, his first free throw. Pretty quick free throw routine for Romeo. He doesn't waste much time. Just gets that ball and puts it up.
Got places to go, people to see.
It's playoff football on tonight, baby. Gotta get Here's the Falcons on offense. Charge into the hoop is Aiden Whalen. No good. Here's Humber. Kyle Brown Fazikis off the glass.
Nice and quick.
Humber up by 5 now. Whalen responds for Fanshawe. With some good movement there. Finds an open lane.
And Fanshawe doesn't want to make this a 2-possession game. Just keep this one tight. Nice.
Yeah. J.R. Harewood in the mix. His first bucket of the game. Harewood typically gets in double digits. He averages 11 points per game for Humber. A foul charge to Kyle Brown Fazikis. Loblaw hits the hardwood. And Josh Loblaw will shoot 2. Let's take a second look at the last points there. Is that quick transition play, and Kyle Brown Fazikis made no mistake about it.
Got a perfect pass there from Harewood.
Loblaw looking to cut into this Humber lead. Can't do it. DLC pull-up shot. Beautiful looking effort there as Humber's lead grows to 7.
Nice high arc on that shot.
And Hamza Hamdan, a little too low on that pass. It sails out of bounds. And 4 minutes left in the first half. Humber with the ball on the outside right now. DLC charges in. Lots of Fanshawe Falcons. Andrew, they've done a great job swarming to the ball so far tonight. It's made it pretty tough for Humber to really get anything inside. Falcons are swarming. Wide open look here, though. Look out.
That's the way Humber's got to do it. Just find that empty lane there. But you said it. When Humber's got guys down low, they've made it, Fanshawe, I should say, has made it so difficult for them to get those passes away. Just get those layups going. It's been really difficult. And perhaps that's why Humber's been kind of going back to the well with those 3-point shots over and over again this afternoon.
Humber leads the OCAA in defensive rebounds per game. They're first in the province with 32. Also number 1 in the province for overall rebounds. But that really hasn't been the story tonight. I mean, Fanshawe has been battling and getting lots of offensive boards. So the Falcons made the trip down from London, and they've got the eye of the tiger. Wide open 3 is good. Richards stepped back, found some space, and nailed the long ball.
Yeah, it cuts us down to a 2-possession ball game. 3 minutes left to go.
Raheem Dennis was wide open on the baseline, but Chambers didn't see him. And rebounded well there by Fanshawe. Richards, another 3 ball for number 2. He does the old Legolas celebration too, pulling that one out of the old bag of tricks. A bow and arrow. Can Humber respond now? They're only up by 3. That lead has been getting chewed into after a couple big threes from Oakville's Dante Richards. And Harewood. He's not going to get that call to go his way. Look like maybe an illegal screen set there, Andrew. Either way,
it's hard to tell.
Fanshawe's ball.
Foul there for that rebound, won by Chambers. 2 minutes left in the half.
And the 3 ball is good. You heard the whistle. So a 4-point play opportunity, and no surprise, the head coach for Fanshawe not happy with that play.
Yeah, the rare 4-point play here in the OCAA. You don't see that too often, but Harewood doing a great job to win that.
Toronto's J.R. Harewood. And tell you what, missed free throw, but could work out for Humber as they get the rebound. Nice feed inside. Working hard despite all the Falcons converging on the play. Jamani Barrett.
And some great patience there. He saw that man jump up, try and get that block, just outweighted him.
Ooh. Scary play there.
Yeah, that was Blake Roy and Romeo Osas Joshua running into each other.
The foul is on number 4, Romeo Osas Joshua. Personal foul number 2. Timeout, Fanshawe.
And timeout called by Fanshawe. Looks like Romeo Osas Joshua back on his feet and is okay.
Good to see.
So the score heading into this timeout, not much time left in the first half. 39-31. There's a look at Humber's bench, and it hasn't been the greatest outing for Humber thus far, but especially at the beginning. But Humber really seems to be finding their rhythm and getting a couple big baskets. But really, this Fanshawe defense has really done a good job of just not making anything easy. And as much as we know Humber has some pretty lethal scoring abilities, hasn't been on full display here, and give credit to the Fanshawe defensive effort thus far.
Yeah, absolutely, and Humber's been having to try and find different ways to get around that defense. They've been slowly starting to figure things out here as this game's gone on. The second quarter especially has been a much-needed improvement over that first, but so their work here is nowhere near done. Fanshawe, is going to come out hard here to finish up this quarter especially and come up strong for the rest of the game.
Free throw number 1 is good for Blake Roy. Hawks fans making some noise here to try to interrupt free throw number 2, and that might have worked. Hawks up by 7, looking to grow that lead. Just a minute 30 left in the first half. DLC at the spin move. Kicks it out to Harewood. Rebounded by Fanshawe. Loblaw with the rock. Hands it off to Tunstall. Tunstall makes a play to the hoop, and Cameron David got in the mix there, but Tunstall able to hang on to it. Oh my goodness! That was an acrobatic play,
Unreal.
the no-looker. That ball just hung on the rim and dropped. 40 seconds left here in the second quarter. And we'll get a second look in just a moment at that last bucket from Tunstall. And it wasn't just a beautiful bucket, Andrew. It was the effort before what led up to this bucket. Just David is playing some interfering defense there and just hung on that rim.
I know that no look from that spot off the backboard.
Hawks on one of the last possessions of the first half will draw a whistle here. And we'll have some free throws coming up for number 13, Jamani Barrett. Like you mentioned, Barrett standing 6'8", tied for one of the tallest players in action tonight. Another 6'8" player for Humber, Abiodun David. First free throw, no good. And Jamani makes number 2. And the substitution now as Richards checks back into the game. Edge Capuno will head to the bench. Just spent a few days in Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah?
Had a good time.
Lots there to do?
Yeah, went to a biodome
Okay.
at Assiniboine Park. Wanted to go to the Human Rights Museum at the Forks, but that was closed on Mondays.
Oh, interesting. In and out there.
Last few seconds here, Humber with 3 on the clock. Can they jack up a shot here? And no, they cannot, but they do draw the foul. And bonus territory,
Yeah,
and
they're
that
gonna
is
get free throws.
yeah, kind of a ideal situation for Humber. Really didn't have enough time to get up a good shot, but they get the best shot of all. Free throw chance coming up here. As a quick second look here. DLC charging down, not much time on the clock, but that's enough to draw the foul. DLC makes good on free throw number 1. And half a second left on the game clock, and that will hit the top of the backboard and send us into halftime with a score of 42-34. Andrew, the Humber Hawks have been getting a good effort out of DLC so far. Dwayne Lambert-Cador with 8 points. Now let's hand it over to Dwayne Bowles in a moment. As Andrew, like we've mentioning, we're going to be having a ceremony here at halftime for the Humber Hawks National Championship victories in the fall season. We'll be back for that, and we'll also be back for the conclusion of this game. Second half action coming up after the halftime ceremonies. Stay with us.
Once again, 2 shots, 2 attempts at a layup, 2 attempts at a free throw, 2 attempts at a three-pointer, and 1 attempt at a shot from half for $1,000. When you're ready. Layup's good. Free throw is good. One more attempt at a three-pointer. Almost got there, but you won't be going home empty-handed. Thank you very much. You'll be going home with an OCAA toque. Hawks Nation, today we are celebrating our fall national champions who continue to dominate on the national stage while representing the H. The tireless dedication from our student athletes, coaches, trainers, and managers often goes unnoticed. So today we celebrate them all for their incredible achievements. Let's begin with the men's golf team. The most decorated program in Humber history, the men's golf squad returned to national glory, capturing the team and individual titles at Deer Creek Golf Course. The Hawks jumped out to a 5-stroke lead after round 1 and cruised to the program's 11th national title, the first since 2012. This young squad, comprised of 4 rookies, led wire to wire and defeated Andre Lorondo Boomerang by 20 strokes and the third place Fanshawe Falcons by 33. Congratulations to the men's golf team, 2022 CCAA national champions. The women's golf squad put on another masterful clinic, successfully defending its national title from a year ago. On moving day, the Hawks took their lead from 5 strokes to 21 and never looked back. The Hawks beat the Quebec team, won by 35 strokes, and Quebec 2 by 38 strokes. And all 3 Humber golfers were named All-Canadians. For head coach Nick Trujillo, it was his 3rd national title since 2013. Congratulations to the women's golf team, 2022 CCAA national champions. Hill, we have time. We have till 8. Go. It was another perfect season for men's soccer, the most decorated team sport in Humber history. The Hawks successfully defended their national title in British Columbia, defeating the Seneca Sting in extra time, 2-1. It was just the 2nd time in program history the Hawks went perfect, winning the program's 9th national title and 7th since 2012. After surrendering an early goal to begin the second half, Humber was able to force extra time with a late tally in the dying minutes of regulation. There, the Hawks were able to take the lead when a deflected cross from Luca Ocello found the boot of Federico Leal for the game winner. Congratulations to the men's soccer team, 2022 CCAA national champions. Welcome back, everybody. Here are your first half leaders. First, for the Fanshawe Falcons with 6 points, number 10, Josh Loblaw. And with 13 points, number 2, Dante Richards.
Hawks Nest. We are back for the continuation of what was a pretty close first half. My name is Matt Hamill alongside Andrew Milani for your broadcast team today. Thank you for watching the Hawks Sports Network. Let's run back, Andrew, some of those big plays from half number 1.
Okay, here we go. We got a play of Dwayne Lambert-Cador stopping up at the foul line, making a great shot there. I've seen a lot back and forth this match, this game. Really, Humber was the only team to really come forth late in that quarter, kind of pull away, and we get a few more looks at some of those plays there. But Fanshawe's been finding ways to keep up. A great look there by Jack Tunstill.
He had a couple big plays in that first half. Now, leading the way, though, a game-high 13 points is Dante Richards. I don't know if I mentioned, he is by way of Holy Trinity High School in Oakville, Ontario. Oh, I did. Now, Dwayne Lambert-Cador leads the way for Humber. He has 8 points, but right behind Lambert-Cador, you have Kyle Brown-Fazikis and Romeo Osas Joshua. All the hyphenated last names right at the top of the mix there for the Humber Hawks. And they are owning a 8-point lead heading into the second half. It'll be Fanshawe ball to get things going here.
It's going to be an interesting half of basketball here. Humber still up by 8 points, so almost 3 full possessions here. So Fanshawe certainly has their work cut out from them here, but they'll get first possession.
Tunstill with the ball. We saw in that replay package, Tunstill had quite a few spectacular plays, and there's a nice layup to get the party started.
Yeah, wasting no time with another nice little basket there. Cuts it down to a 2-possession game.
So Humber suffered from a bit of a slow start in that first half, and looking to avoid that here as they are fortunate to have the lead after really battling back later in that half. Of course, Humber honoring some of the national championship winning teams from the fall season, men's soccer, men and women's golf. And now it's a Humber Hawks team who won the national championship last year, this men's basketball team, and hoping to maybe rekindle a bit of that energy, as it's been a not such a desirable first half of the season for the Hawks. Record right now is sitting at 6-5 on a 2-game losing skid.
They had done so well to get that record to 6-3 before the winter break. Now all of a sudden you're right back at basically 500.
There's a 3 ball from the game. This is the game's leading scorer, Dante Richards, but he misses that shot. Opportunity now for Blake Roy, who makes good. So it seemed like a 3-ball was just destiny for Fanshawe on that offensive drive. Here's Dwayne Lambert-Cador. Romeo. Now Humber, Andrew, we saw a lot of this in the first half, outside movement with the ball, and it's really not easy to go inside for the Hawks. But that time, cracking the code is DLC. But we just saw that so much in the first half, is Fanshawe's defense swarming and really not making it a very appetizing opportunity to try and get some points inside.
Yeah, but Humber luckily has a lot of good playmakers on that team. They can open up a lot of space. And I think if they need to win today, they got to get back to that kind of drawing away those Fanshawe defenders, kind of drawing a trap for them, if you will.
Kyle Brown-Fazikis with some nice footwork draws a foul, and he has 2 free throws in his future here.
Once again, a chance to go up by 3 possessions here with these 2 free throws. Gets the shooter's bounce there.
Kyle, second free throw. No good. Chance to get his own rebound, but another heads-up play by Jack Tunstall for Fanshawe. On offense now are the Falcons. Richards hands it off to Roy. Loblaw back to Roy. Tunstall with a drive to the hoop, and excellent ball movement here. This is picture perfect ball movement from the Falcons, but ultimately going to draw a foul. So 2 free throws coming up. Just a strong offensive possession for Fanshawe.
Humber doing good to play there defensively, except for that last little moment there. Especially doing great to close out on that outside shooter there. Didn't allow a 3-point attempt.
Roy's second free throw is good. So that lead now is getting a little bit thin. Humber up by only 4. See what the Hawks can get. Shaking and baking on offense right now. Harewood charging inside, and that's kind of the MO thus far, is very tight defense, but quickly turned over. Boy, DLC had to use all of his vertical to keep that errant pass in play. And Kyle will take too many steps and turn it over.
Another avoidable error there by the Humber Hawks. They're just giving Fanshawe more and more chances to just stay in this ball game and cut this to a 1-possession game.
Now into the game for Humber, Jamani Barrett has just checked in, the big fella. Still seeing lots of good passes from this Falcons team. Shot from the top of the key is no good. Aiden Whalen working hard for a second chance opportunity.
Looked like a foot stepped out of bounds there. Will stay Fanshawe ball.
So you heard they are in gymnasium announcer. Dwayne Bowles, just 6.5 seconds left on the shot clock here, so not a ton of time to work with, but don't need to rush anything. Well, there's a quick shot, no good. Humber back the other way.
Yeah, a bit weird that they kind of rushed that shot. They still had plenty of time.
That time, it's a bit of a strong over-the-top defensive play by Jack Tunstall, and 2 free throws coming up for Raheem Dennis. No, actually, it's the big fella, Jamani Barrett, shooting 2. There's the Fanshawe women's team on the bleachers at the top of the screen. good effort. They did drop their game earlier this afternoon to Humber. They are now enjoying some McDonald's. And I was saying at halftime, between the men's team drinking ice-cold blue Powerade and the women's team with their McDonald's, I'm just a lot of envy from this broadcaster right now. It's just, I want some of that, you know?
I could certainly go for some McDonald's right now.
Fanshawe down by 6. They're looking pretty fluid offensively, but Barrett with some good defense there will turn them down. And DLC hands it off, and Kyle Brown-Fazikis is fouled hard.
Yeah, a lot of contact there.
Aiden Whalen is charged with the foul. So no shots coming up. Let's take a second look at that play as DLC handed it off.
I don't think there was a foul there. I think it was just out of bounds.
No foul. Lots of contact, no foul.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with letting the players play, Andrew.
That's it.
As a former football player, I'm down to see the contact. Loblaw to the hoop. Barrett with some strong defense, and Loblaw on the hardwood. And he's all good. Looks like I caught a smile there on his way up. So 2 shots coming up for Josh Loblaw.
It's going to be Barrett's second foul.
So the first-year player with his first free throw of this trip to the line. He makes it. See if he can go 2 for 2. There it is.
A couple Fanshawe players are kind of working their way in foul trouble. Dante Richards and Jack Tunstall each with 3 fouls. Better be careful.
And the inbounds pass is turned right over and ultimately leads to a jump ball in the Hawks' defensive end.
Looks like it's going to be Humber possession.
Four-point difference in this game. Let's see if Humber is a bit smarter with the ball on this inbounds play. Kind of, sort of, almost a little dicey there.
Well, they got away with one.
And thrown out of bounds into the second row. So a little deliberation. You see the Fanshawe head coach, Tony Marcatulio, chatting with the official.
We have a bloody nose from
we
Jack
do indeed.
Tunstall.
Tunstall's been all over the place this game. Now we're going to try to stop the nosebleed. Just off camera, we have the. Okay, he's coming out. We're not going to wait. We're going to let him take care of that on the bench before we let Tunstall check back in. Into the game in his place, Costas Poulimenos. First-year player from Brantford.
And I know Tunstall's been a big factor here for the Falcons, but given his foul trouble, it might not be the worst thing that he's getting a little breather here.
Loblaw to the hoop. Rebounded by Fanshawe. Loose ball right now. It's an all-out scramble, but handled by Humber.
That almost could have been called a kick ball there by Raheem Dennis. Looked like it went off his foot.
And that pass would have been turned over. Humber drawing the foul there, so it will remain Hawks ball. The Battle of the Birds is a close one. Humber up by just 4 right now.
And Whalen taking his 3rd foul now as well. So 3 Fanshawe players with 3 fouls. Something to watch out for with 15 minutes left.
And there's a bucket for Barrett.
He's in double digits.
Humber, 5 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the half, only 5 points to show for it. There's their 7 points of the half after that bucket from Barrett. 3-point shot there is no good. Edge Capuno off the mark. Three ball. And like I mentioned, Humber's offense not exactly firing on all cylinders here in the third quarter. Kyle Brown Physicus.
2 missed shots in a row for him.
And that play in the Fanshawe defensive end will go in favor of the Hawks. Hawks think they're on defense. You see they're all kind of getting back there, but no, run back in, fellas. It's your ball. Barrett with the ball up top, hands it right back to DLC.
Good screen set.
Here's Romeo charging inside. And 2 shots coming up.
For the foul is on number 8, the Costas of holding almost personal foul number 2.
A very kind of grinding third quarter thus far. We mentioned the strong defense from Fanshawe. And it has not been easy for the Hawks. Second free throw is no good. Fanshawe looking to cut into that 7-point lead for the Hawks. Tell you what, it's been really throughout the game, good ball movement from the Falcons. There's a floater that finds a way in. Great effort there by Edge Capuno.
His first 2 points of the afternoon. Barrett stopped to the hoop, couldn't get that one to drop. Great steal though by Dennis.
Yeah, Romeo and Raheem Dennis in the mix, but unfortunately, we have a foul call there. Is Dennis going to be shooting one here? Yes, he is.
He is.
So fortunately, Raheem Dennis thought he might have come in a bit too strong and picked up the charge, but the and one play. As the Hawks look to get their offense firing here, maybe create a bit of separation. Chance to make it an 8-point lead.
Yeah, any advantage you can give yourself heading into the fourth quarter would be massive.
And there it is. Here's Edge taking the ball up for the Falcons. Still working on that nosebleed on the bench for Jack Tunstill, so he's still clearly not yet cleared up that situation. But tell you what, good offense from Aiden Whalen. And Raheem Dennis is called for the travel. Edge Capuno with the ball. Whalen with the rock at the top of the key. Pull-up shot. It's good. Not an easy shot with the big man, Jamani Barrett, in his face, but he makes it anyway. And that pass for Barrett, stolen away, but right back, ripped away by Humber. And Romeo with a nice athletic play.
Big play there for Humber.
Hawks up by 6. About 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Capuno almost loses the handle. Whalen, not much time left, and the buzzer beater, does that count? Yes, it does.
Really? I'm surprised about that.
The official gave it to him.
Did not look like he got it off in time.
J.R. Harewood, that ball is off the face of Jamani Barrett, it looked like. And right down the other way, a bucket for the Falcons. Now we're getting close to being all tied up once again. It's 55-53 for Humber. A very close contest between these two OCAA West Division teams. 1 minute left here in the third quarter. Ripped away by Romeo Osas Joshua, and it's good off the glass, and that gives him 12 points on the afternoon. Right back the other way, 2 off the glass for Aiden Whalen. And a warning issued to Fanshawe's coach.
Warning to Fanshawe head coach in perpetuity.
So it'll be inbounding. It'll be Cameron David inbounding the ball for Humber. Kyle Brown-Fazikis over to Romeo for the 3.
Looks like Romeo absorbed a little bit of contact there on that 3-point attempt. No call, though.
Just an all-out scramble here. These will be the hardest 2 points Humber's earned all night, and they do indeed. Rashawn Chambers, the and one play.
Chambers went up looking for the dunk there, but I think he'll be more than happy with how this play turned out.
22, Hercules Hinkering. Personal foul number 1.
Doesn't have to be pretty, just take care of business. Chance to put Humber at that 60-point threshold. Cameron David with the rebound.
4-second different shot clock, game clock.
Yeah, time winding down in the third quarter. David loses the handle. He is mobbed by that Fanshawe defense. And that will do it for quarter number 3. Humber hangs on to a lead, a 4-point lead. And we have a score 59-55. Andrew, what jumped out to you there at the third quarter there?
Well, at one point it looked like Humber was going to kind of start to run away with this, but I mean, Fanshawe is staying right there, and I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit, really making nothing easy for Humber, especially down low with those passing plays. Just Fanshawe just trying to just finding ways to claw back and stay alive.
Here's that tenacious Fanshawe defense on the inside, and not So, Andrew, for Whalen, it was a pretty big third quarter. He added 8 points, whereas it was pretty quiet. You know, we talked a lot about in the first half just how much production Fanshawe got out of Dante Richards, and he was held off the score sheet in that third quarter. Let's take a second look at one of those plays, many plays we've seen from Romeo Osas Joshua.
Yeah, just stripping the ball. And open lane to the hoop. Defender tried to collapse on him late there, but just not in time.
Romeo with that, like we just mentioned, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Really not much going for Humber from downtown. You have a couple players with 1 3-point made, but nobody with more than a single 3-pointer. So has not been a big factor for the Hawks here today, but it really hasn't been all season. The Humber Hawks are 9th in the province in terms of 3-point percentage. So
yeah, so middle of the pack. I mean, Humber tried to go with those 3-pointers early on, but they just weren't falling. When that happens, you got to abandon that game plan and go with what's working.
And boy, you got to feel for the number 14, Jack Tunstall. He had the nosebleed. He checks into the game, and he is hit hard. Knocked his headband right off. Welcome back into the game, young fella. He appears to be okay. Pretty good afternoon from Tunstall. Missed a lot of that third quarter due to that nosebleed. He's got 8 points, a chance to make it 10 if he hits both these free throws. No good, so make that 1 for 2 on that trip at the free throw line. 1 possession game. Humber with a chance to create a bit of separation on this offensive drive. DLC, great work inside. Nothing coming easy inside for Humber, but Dwayne Lambert-Cador has been able to figure it out a few times here tonight.
Yeah, Lambo coming through with some speed down low to get that layup.
Good defense by Romeo Osas Joshua alongside Rashawn Chambers.
Nice little end-to-end rush there by DLC.
Romeo trying to take a stab at a drive inside. Comes up empty there. Tunstall all by himself and a little too strong off the glass, but Humber will be charged with a defensive foul.
I don't know about that one. It looked like Chambers got his feet down in time. We'll get another look.
Yeah, I think you might have a point there, partner. Tunstall with yet another opportunity to make a few free throws.
Yeah, looked like he got both those feet down in time.
That's 10 points on the afternoon here for Tunstall, who averages about 12 points per game for Fanshawe. He's got 11 now. Fourth quarter action, OCAA men's basketball. The Humber Hawks have been hanging on to a pretty narrow lead pretty well all the way through this game. Chambers working hard and gets the bank shot. Evidently they keep Rashawn Chambers' money in the bank. Tunstall, the hardest working man in show business, passes it out for the corner 3. DLC to Kyle Brown Fazikis. And will shoot 2. That's what we get a great overhead look there.
Gotta love these HSN camera, this camera crew here. Absolutely
right on top of the action.
Gotta take what they give you, right?
That was brilliant.
Sometimes you gotta work for those nice shots, and sometimes you guys, it just falls in your
lap. The play
lap.
comes to you.
Yeah.
That's rule number 1 at camera school, right?
Just be ready for anything.
Kyle Brown Fazikis will find that free throw into the hoop.
Errant pass there.
It's a 7-point lead for Humber and a chance to grow that lead now. David finds Romeo on the outside, and that 3 ball's no good. Fighting hard for it inside is Rashawn Chambers.
It's a great job by him to scoop that one up and just put it back in.
Andrew, we're starting to see that lockdown inside defense of Fanshawe kind of break apart a little bit. Humber's starting to get those points, those easy buckets inside, and that's really allowing them to pull away now up by 9.
Yeah, we've seen this plenty of times where the away team here, they come up, plenty of spark, plenty of juice, but as the game wears on, it gets tougher and tougher to keep things going, especially when it's not your home arena, not your home place,
Yeah, good point. It's maybe an element of fatigue setting in, or perhaps just Humber strategizing, finding a way to kind of break the code. Fanshawe on offense. Quick shot off the inbounds pass. No good. DLC charging in, and he is fouled, and he will shoot 2. And he's getting up a bit slow, right again on top of the action, holding that knee.
He's finally back up on his feet.
Team foul number 2.
So a chance to make it a double-digit lead here. The man they call Lambo, Dwayne Lambert-Cador, makes it. And the second free throw is good. Tunstall up top, and that's some aggressive defense from Kyle Brown Fazekas. He already has 3 fouls tonight, Andrew.
So officially in foul trouble. First one with 4 fouls on the game here. Now he's got to be extra careful.
Yeah, so his 4th personal foul, and like we heard, team foul number 3 here in the 4th quarter.
Omar keeping him, head coach Omar Miles keeping him in the game for the time being, showing trust in his player.
And that's a big 3 ball. That could really swing the momentum here as Fanshaw's fighting back. Humber has created some separation on the scoreboard, but this game is still close with plenty of time left in the 4th. Dwayne Lambert-Cador from outside. In and out, Carnival rim.
We need to talk to you, the people from the broadcast.
So Humber will retain possession here. Heads up play. To keep the ball in the hands of the home team.
Still lots of time here in this game.
Romeo, too many steps is what the official says. And Romeo limps off to the bench. Some good movement inside. Tunstall kicks it back out. Dante Richards has gone pretty quiet here. There's a 3 ball from number 2 in black, and no good. Good fight for the ball. Jump ball in the paint. (69-61) is our score. Now it's a lead for Humber, but not a comfortable lead. This thing could disappear quick. We just saw a 3 ball from Fanshawe on one of the more recent possessions.
In fact, Humber had a lead around 8 or 9 points that disappeared earlier in this game, and Fanshawe managed to turn it back into a 1-possession game. So Fanshawe could definitely do it again if Humber's not careful.
Harewood. Chambers over to DLC, turned over now. And too strong as that will corral out of bounds. And Fanshaw's going to hang on to the ball here. A 17-point night from Fanshawe's Aiden Whalen. And a 3-ball is too strong, rebounded by Chambers. Lambo with the ball down low for Humber. Finds a wide open J.R. Harewood. Too strong off the glass. Way off the mark on that 3-ball. 3-pointers have really not been a factor for the Hawks here tonight. A couple earlier in the game, but pretty cold from beyond the arc in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same thing with Fanshawe. We saw a couple threes early in the game. We saw a 3-ball recently from the Falcons, but has not been a huge part of the strategy here tonight.
Yeah, really just been working that ball inside, and they've been reasonably successful at it this afternoon. So you got to imagine that they're going to keep going to that well.
Personal foul number 4, team foul number 3.
Great having you with us here on the Hawks Sports Network. My broadcast partner, Andrew Milani, and myself, Matt Hamill. Glad to have you with us and the whole HSN team bringing you the game this afternoon. In and out. Humber, like we've mentioned, looking to avoid a 3-game losing skid. Not something we're used to hearing about in the Humber men's basketball kind of storyline. This is a accomplished men's basketball program, but just kind of figuring some things out this year, it seems like, after a national championship. Lots of turnover, right? Lots of new faces. And it seems like Humber has been a bit up and down this season, trying to find their rhythm. Here's a look at Fanshawe in rhythm offensively with this 3-ball.
Yeah, perfectly in rhythm, like you said, Matt. That's been a big reason why Fanshawe's been able to kind of claw their way, kind of keeping this at a 3-possession ball game still, but I mean that could change at any moment, like we said before. And like you said before, Humber not quite on top of their form like we've seen in years past. A big transition year. They lost a number of key contributors from that championship season last year. Kevin O'Toole and Daquan Cathcart, their captains, and of course Rookie of the Year sensation Frank Mitchell went to Division II NCAA this year. Of course, as you mentioned, Kevin O'Toole went just down the 401 to play with the Ottawa GGs, University of Ottawa.
So you have such success that these players kind of garner some attention from. Now, reminds me, remember, were you watching the CFL at all this year, Canadian Football League? There was that young quarterback for the BC Lions, Nathan Rourke, dominating the league, and now he's just signed with the NFL. So he did so well in the CFL that he's now got the NFL opportunity. You know what high school he went to? Holy Trinity in Oakville, Ontario. It all comes full circle, Andrew.
Of course. If he didn't go to Holy Trinity, I would have been disappointed at this point.
I wouldn't have brought it up.
just in general. Anyone that's not from Holy Trinity, it's like, oh.
Yeah, Beethoven actually went to HT. Good basket there from Fanshawe. They're now within 5. Humber with a chance to answer. Raheem Dennis off the glass, and there again, Humber finding ways to score inside. Not something we saw a lot of earlier in the game, but a good development for Humber. That could be a key difference here as they look to close this thing out.
And down this final stretch here, any point you get here is just that much more valuable.
And that time, Dante Richards off the mark. Dennis hands it off to David. Travel called against Jamani Barrett.
Few too many steps.
Lots of movement for Fanshawe. A couple new players coming into the game. Amadis, McKay, Nodars, and Edge Capuno checking in.
And Aiden Whalen checking out. He's in foul trouble. One more and he's out of this ball game, so he's going to take a rest.
And that's a blow for Whalen because he has been electric for the Falcons. And a couple opportunities there for Fanshawe. Ripped away by Rashawn Chambers.
There's another player with 4 fouls, Dante Richards.
Good movement here, and that time Barrett is tied up. And a technical foul is called against Jack Tunstall. He didn't like the initial call. Got a little too verbal with the official. And this is working in the favor of the Humber Hawks, up by 7.
They hit the deck hard here. We'll get another look. Oh, they definitely fouled there. Grabbed him around the waist.
Yeah, it did seem like Tunstall, after that foul and wrapped him around the waist, he did kind of catch a forearm to the face. Incidental.
Yeah, but that contact's all because of your initial contact there.
But
so.
I can understand the frustration.
Yeah.
Anytime you get hit in the nose, poor guy already had a nosebleed earlier in the game.
Yep.
Team foul number 4 and 5.
That's going to be the end of the game for Tunstall.
In his place, Josh Loblaw checks into the game. What's that?
Missed free throw, but Humber gets to keep possession after the tech.
Cameron David will inbound the ball for Humber. He finds DLC at the top of the arc. Down low to Jamani. David, great pass there to Raheem Dennis. Dennis off the glass once again. Humber's offensive play down low has really come alive late in the game. Humber now back up by 9.
.338 left to go in the ball game. We'll get another look at that last basket there by Raheem Dennis.
Just good patience. And that kind of interior play was just not there for Humber early in the game, but it's really become a factor. Second free throw from Loblaw coming up. And that is just a intercepted pass, no other way to put it, but hey, works out for Humber. They steal it right back, and nice offensive charge. They're going to say Raheem Dennis came in too strong and called an offensive foul.
Yeah, just another error there. You could have easily kind of taken out of this game here, and the reason why this game has been so close.
And a timeout for Humber is called. Andrew, it's a lead for Humber that's been pretty consistent, a couple possessions. But I'll tell you what, we're coming down to crunch time. We're playing the Led Zeppelin. Things are ratcheting up here at the Hawks Nest. Glad to have you with us watching here on the Hawks Sports Network.
Yeah, certainly going to be an exciting finish for this ball game here. Just 3.5 left to go. And Fanshawe, this game's still within reach for them, so Humber's got to keep this tight defensively, and they got to keep scoring on their own. So should be a fun finish.
Got a great look there at the Fanshawe huddle, and head coach Tony Marcatulio chatting with his players, drawing up the play, and we'll now head to a replay. It's HSN crew here showing us another look at Raheem Dennis, who came in evidently a bit too strong.
Yeah, he initiated that contact there, and well, you just can't do that.
So Fanshawe ball, 3.5 to go. Ball down low for Fanshawe. And that was just outstanding footwork. The defense from Rashawn Chambers was there, but Loblaw just fancy footwork. Finds an opening. Cut that lead down to 5. Humber with the lead. Inside now. Chambers. Back to Barrett. Now it's DLC with the deep ball. Rebounded by Josh Loblaw. Intercepted. And taken right back.
Oh, my.
Loblaw had his pass intercepted by DLC, and then Dwayne Lambert-Cador had his pass intercepted by who else? Loblaw.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Wide open look for Whalen, no good. Top of the key for Jamani Barrett. Pardon me, top of the arc. Kyle Brown Physicus spins out in the key and is called for the travel. He's kind of holding his knee a bit there.
The number's been stuck at 74 points for a few offensive possessions now.
Not the time you want to fall flat. And I mean, this has kind of been a problem for Humber in the past few games is you're up late in the game and just find a way to kind of cool off and lose momentum at the worst possible time. 2 minutes left, though. Can the Hawks hang on as Fanshawe Falcons have really proved themselves to be a worthy contender here today? No dice on that drive. Big stop for Humber. And a big possession here for the Hawks. Can Fanshawe close them down and keep this within striking distance?
Chance to turn this into a 3-possession game.
And Dennis inside. That is a big bucket for Dennis. He now has 8 points today. Loblaw inside, off the glass. Oh, stolen away, but right back in the hands of the Falcons. Richards with the ball up top. 1:10 left, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Wallen. And Whalen's shot is no good, and he gets his own rebound and finds a way to tip it in. Number 12 in black is just putting it all out there on the court. 5-point difference, 50 seconds left. Andrew Humber could really kind of put a nail in the coffin here, or something to that effect with another basket.
Long 2.
Can't do it, but Dennis does an outstanding job. Unfortunately, it's not good enough. Actually, it's called for a foul, it looks like. 2 shots coming the other way.
Yeah, he was in possession of the ball during the foul, so that will result in 2 shots.
Kind of seemed like Dennis just did a good job interfering and might have even awarded the Hawks the ball there if it last touched Fanshawe Falcons, but evidently Raheem came on a bit too strong there. And a timeout for the Falcons.
I mean, this is going to set up a pretty big offensive possession here for the Humber Hawks, where you got to think they got to score on that one. Otherwise, they're just going to make things extremely difficult for them on the defensive end. Another look at that last play. Dennis putting it in there, fighting through traffic after a great pass by Dwayne Lambert-Cador.
So that was a big bucket by Dennis. 5-point lead for Humber. We've got the NFL Films music really setting the mood here in the Hawks Nest.
Is that where that theme's from, or this song?
I believe this is an NFL Films song.
Okay. I've always wondered that, so.
If you hear this, you just think of like slow motion and like old school NFL, footage.
Sure. So look at that.
Maybe that's what I think of, and the general population.
So it's very epic, you know, right? My mind just goes like epic, you know? Great sports anthem, too.
Okay, Andrew, 2 big free throws coming up. Blake Roy was the fouled player. Now, do you remember this one, Aim? This is the Undertaker.
That's
It's also from NFL films. 33 seconds left. This one coming right down to the wire. Hawks sitting pretty, but the complexion of this game could change with these free throws. Number 1 is made. Andrew, this could make it a 1-possession game, a huge free throw, the biggest one of the night so far. Can Roy tune out the noise?
He did.
Good job by Springfield, Ontario's Blake Roy. Good pressure here by Fanshawe, and turned over, and then right back in the hands of the Hawks. And then a foul. This is just calamity here at the Hawks Nest.
What a string of events there.
That's tough to recap. A lot.
Yeah. Got another look. So we have DLC kind of trapped in the corner there. Gave it away.
Given away, and then Chambers tripped up. The window of opportunity was there for Fanshawe. And back to the 2-possession game.
Big bucket there.
Third-year guy, Rashawn Chambers.
Big offensive rebound.
Trying to put the game on ice. Dennis over to Romeo. Dwayne Lambert-Cador, that's the guy you want the ball in the hands of.
Another offensive rebound.
Shot clock is off, and that will seal the deal. Wow. And that is our final score, 77-73. The Humber Hawks improving their record to 7-6. Pardon me, 7-5 on the year. And for the Fanshawe Falcons, it's now a 5-game losing skid, 3-9 on the year. But for Humber, Andrew, that was the game they were looking for. Any way you could get it done, picking up that win, getting back in the win column, and hopefully kind of getting some wind in the sails, as it hasn't been a great start to the new year. But hopefully things will change now heading forward after this W.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate the phrase saying it's a must-win game, but this really was a must-win game for the Humber Hawks. Just get away from that 500 record. Now they're sitting at 2 games above 500, so this is a big one in trying to climb up the standings and getting ready for playoffs.
Rashawn Chambers, the player of the game for the Humber Hawks. We appreciate you watching the Hawks Sports Network today, and we'll be back in action for Humber Hawks men's basketball. The next home game here at the Hawks Nest will be Saturday, January 21st. We'll see you then. For my broadcast partner, Andrew Milani, and myself, Matt Hamill, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.